All right, so while people are entering, obviously most of you are already here because you know what Tripadvisor is, you know what Tripadvisor Ad Express is, maybe you've booked already, maybe you want to book again, whatever the case may be. Let's start and get into why Tripadvisor. Okay. So TripAdvisor has 292 million travelers actively planning and buying. We have 500 million monthly views, so we have a great global reach, and have the world's largest premium travel audience. Okay. Now, on the agenda today, we have how to set up and book campaigns. We have our new listing booster product. We are going to go over creative sizes, formats, and best practices. And last but not least, our insider hints and tips on how to run a successful campaign. Now, most of you, again, you're here. You know you are going to reach an audience on TripAdvisor. But today we want to teach you how to reach the right and correct audience for your business, specifically using TripAdvisor Ad Express. Okay. Okay, so questions and feedback are allowed. So please feel free to write your questions in the chat, but written answers will be provided after the webinar. Okay. All right. Last but not least, let's get into the platform. All right. So TripAdvisor Ad Express should look familiar to most of you. So like any standard ad platform, we have the ability to track the number of impressions, the number of clicks, the click-through rate, and the spend. Okay. Let me just hit OK here because that's totally getting in my way. Now, obviously, I'm a resource, but if you ever want a quick reference, please click how to create a campaign. We're going to go through all of this today, though, so don't fear. But this is a great guide if you ever just want to need a quick reference or look how to do something. Okay. Okay, so no matter what you want to do on TripAdvisor Ad Express, you always have to click in New Ad Campaign up here, and this will take you to the ad creation page. Okay, so we're going to call this test. Okay. So here you see two different product groups. This is standard media right here, standard display ads, images, and videos. And this product right here, Listing Booster, this is something new. It's unique to TripAdvisor. I'm going to start out with this one first, our newer one. I think it'll be easier, and it's a great way to get acquainted within TripAdvisor Ad Express. Now, this product specifically is for those who already have a business listing on TripAdvisor. So if you're a hotel or a restaurant or an attraction and you have a listing on TripAdvisor, you are the user for this. But have no fear if you don't fall under that category. Maybe you're a DMO, a retail brand, an insurance company. That's okay. Standard media is still for you too. All right. So Listing Booster, two options. What are the two options and what do these two discounts mean? Both great questions. Okay. So the first option, the TripAdvisor listing, that is going to allow users to click on the ad and redirect back to your TripAdvisor listing. An external website is similar to standard media, where the user clicks on the ad and redirects to a valid URL of your choice. Now, when I say clicks on an ad, now you know with ads, you are uploading your own creatives, images, videos. Listing Booster eliminates that. It is actually taking your current TripAdvisor business listing and using it as the ad itself. Now, before I show you what that looks like, these discounts off the CPM are based on our standard media rate. So this option would be 50% less. And this option would be 10% less. All right. So I'm gonna click on ones just so you could see what it looks like. Pretty cool, right? It takes your listing and it superimposes it into these three different sizes that can be viewed on different verticals of Tripadvisor. Now, again, I know most of you are wondering, well, if I already have a business listing, why do I need to use this product? Why would I be using this product? Well, a listing is great. I like to say that's our basic Tripadvisor subscription. You list your business. When people look up your city, maybe you'll appear on the first page. Odds are maybe you're all the way back at the 10th page. You are only limited to that location and you are only limited to that vertical. This allows you to be featured across different verticals of TripAdvisor, hotel pages, restaurant pages, attraction pages, right? That's great. And you also are not just limited to your area. You could target whoever you like. You could get as specific or as broad as you'd like. Now, I will get into these targeting options, but first, let me show you how to input a business listing on here. All right, so let me just select once we can proceed. So, to add a new listing, all you do is click Add New Listing. You can name it whatever you want. The naming is for you. I'm going to take that TripAdvisor business listing URL. I'm going to place it right here under listing URL. Oh, look at that. Great. And then here, I'm picking the external website option. I'm going to use this URL for users to redirect to just because of all the different options. You can book a room, you can find a table, you can look at the menu, right? The more, the merrier. So we're going to put that right in here. And this is how it would appear. So so say, for example, you don't like this image, that's okay. Before you panic, just know, go into that TripAdvisor, your business listing management center, to switch the main image to one that you'd like. So TAE can pull. This is our only connection between the two platforms. As you know, they're two separate logins. This is the only connection. So I'm going to confirm this. And we're going to use this one. Okay, let's go back to the targeting though, right? Okay, so just know these 4 targeting options are available across all the products within this platform. The only thing that will vary is the CPM. Okay, so what do these mean? Regardless of what option you pick, you always have to input visitor location targeting. What does that mean? Think of that as being equivalent to IP address. So for example, if I wanted to run a brand awareness campaign, I wanted to target everyone in the United States, I would just select all destinations, put United States under visitor location targeting, and proceed. However, that business objective might not be what all of you on here are looking for. So these 3, fortunately, kick it up a notch. For example, say I want to run a campaign, people in the United States looking at anything Canadian related on TripAdvisor. I would select country destinations. I would put the US under visitor location, and I would put Canada under country destination. So think of it as IP, where the user is located, and then think of countries as cookies, where the user is looking at on TripAdvisor. Same logic can be applied to these two. State, region, and city. So people in the US looking at Texas, people in the US looking at Las Vegas. I know I keep using the US as an example, but we can drill down a little more if you choose to do so. So let's use an example. We are going to run a campaign for people living in the US and Canada that are looking at anything Las Vegas specific on TripAdvisor. And we're going to use top of the world restaurant as our example here. So I'm going to confirm city destination targeting. Now, we're going to put United States and Canada under here. Now, I know we said we could drill down a little more, right? Oh, look at that. There we go. There's Canada. And then we would put Vegas under here. This is the city. That's what they're looking at on at TripAdvisor. Okay, Las Vegas. All right. Before we go any further, let's just clear some things up. I know the first thing coming to your mind is, why is this color coded? Okay, so we're going to click here. TripAdvisor Ad Express goes by tiers. So for example, we have US most popular, 750 will be added to the base CPM, those CPMs we saw earlier. Canada, tier 2, 550. A country like Mexico would be tier 3, and a country like Japan would be tier 4. And no worries, you don't have to memorize this, you just click right here. And here's the list of all the tiers. Now, I just want to clear something else up. You are not being charged twice. It's only going to take the most costly tier, charge it once. So that'd be that 1,750 right there, no 550. So just once right here, and that's it. Now, this does not apply to city destination, state destination, or country destination. You could have as many as you want, same as up here. Okay, great. Now, I know I keep using countries up here. You can actually target on the state level, region level, province level, DMO level, county level, just not city. Why? Because a city looking at another city usually does not yield enough impressions and does not lead to a successful campaign. I'm also going to teach you another little trick, especially in the United States. It's a term called competitive conquesting. What does that mean? So for example, we don't want to just capture people looking at Vegas. Maybe we want to capture people looking at our competitive cities. How about Reno? So for example, someone in the US is looking at something Reno related. Now going to see my restaurant ad that for a restaurant located in Vegas. So that's how that works. Okay, audience targeting. What is this? This actually bumps up targeting a notch. This is actually targeting not only not location, but groups instead. So for example, if I wanted hotel shoppers, restaurant goers, attraction travelers, trains, planes, automobiles, couples, family, weekend, weekday, you get the drift here. There's about 70 different options available. If you are on the fence, my suggestion is don't use it the first time around. Why? The system will tell you which top 5 groups are looking at your ad. Same kind of metrics apply up here. So as this ad would be live, it would break down the traffic coming from US versus Canada. And the same thing, how many impressions Vegas versus Reno. Just keep that in mind. The system is pretty intuitive. Now, destination retargeting. This actually does not cost anything extra, unlike audience targeting, which adds $2 to the CPM. So here's a little trick. Because it doesn't cost me anything extra to do so, we can target people in the state of Nevada as well. Look at that. All right, there's a trick there. Now, budget date range. You actually can choose your budget and your date range here. Minimum is 500. I'm going to put 2,000 right here. It's telling me how many impressions that I'm going to be purchasing. Maybe I want to see what it would look like if I halved my budget. See, you know what you're getting before you're booking. Now, date range you get to select as well. We're going to do that. Great. All right. Now, I know, common question. Well, will this budget run out in 2 days? Nope. If you set it for a month, this campaign will run for a month. What the system does is it takes this impression count up here and it divides it roughly evenly over the date range of your choice. Pretty good, right? All right, last but not least, let's check availability. Okay, great. So green means go, means you could add it to cart. If it was red, you couldn't. You would have to either change your budget, date range, or targeting. This is appearing because we are buying less than 15% of available inventory based on our targeting selections. You can definitely reject this if you want, but if you want to hit that amount, either follow increase in the budget or change in the end date. I'm going to reject it for the sake of this test. We're going to add it to cart. And then once it adds to cart, we're going to go back. We're going to book another ad. We're going to look at that first other set of products that I alluded to previously, the standard video and display. All right, we're going to add this to the cart. There we go. And apologies here because clearly I was playing around with this before. I'm just going to delete these two. so we don't get any confusion. But here is our ad in our cart. So we're going to go back, new ad campaign. We're going to call this one test 2. I'm sure your wording's going to be a lot better than mine. All right, back to standard media where it all began. So here you have 2 options. You could do video, and let's hover over it so you could see this. These are examples of how video would look across different verticals of TripAdvisor. See, these targeting options, they're still here, just at different CPMs. Okay, now we're going to go to images. Okay, so some of these sizes may seem familiar to you. They're pretty standard within the advertising world. So we got the 300 by 250, the 320 by 50, the leaderboard, native, got the skyscraper, that half-page ad right here, and our newest size, last but not least, our 970 by 250. So this actually proves a point that I mentioned earlier. If you forgot, it's okay. So see how we're across different verticals of TripAdvisor. Here we are on an attractions page. Here we are on a hotels page. And here we are on a restaurants page. Now, one thing, if you already noticed, I apologize. Notice all these images have some type of call to action. So some type of wording. So think of like a book now, come visit. You can't just put an image without any text. It will be rejected. There is only one loophole around that rule, and that's our native creative. Why? Because we do have a template that allows you to input your own text. Don't worry, I will show you how images can be uploaded later on. Okay, so this time around, let's run a campaign, a hotel in Florida. So we want to capture people in the US looking at anything hotel related on TripAdvisor, and also looking at Florida. So let's click on state region. This is a test. Let's see if everybody remembers. We're going to put United States under visitor location. Why? Because the visitor location equals IP address. We are going to put Florida under state region because we want to capture people in the US looking at anything Florida related on TripAdvisor. This time, I actually do want to utilize my audience targeting. I want to narrow it down to some hotel shoppers. And I don't want to use destination retargeting this time. Okay. I'm going to make the budget the same. Now, I'm using a different targeting option. So state region, right? If this was country, this number would be greater. All destinations, it would be even greater. And then the least would be city destination, because as you could see within this platform, the more specific you get, the less impressions and the less cost and the more costly. That's because you are defining your audience. The more specific you get, the more costly it gets. So keep that in mind. I am going to keep the date range the same. Okay. Before I check availability, let's get into the creative portion. What do these 3 buttons mean? So use from library. If you previously booked a campaign and you had some approved images that you want to reuse, you live in here. If you want to upload a native creative, that the one I showed you before where you can input your own wording, you would click build a creative, upload your image, and your text would go here. So say, come visit our hotel. And again, your wording is going to be a lot better than mine. Okay, so and last but not least, all those image sizes I showed you, upload your creative. You click on that. You select the image size. It tells you the KB max size, the different files accepted. Now, I'm going to touch upon conversions and tracking because I know most of you were probably thinking about it when I first showed you that dashboard, that part was missing. Why is that? Because when we are letting users redirect from our site to yours, that does fall on you. However, if you do want to track that, we actually allow you the ability to do so in multiple ways. And I'm going to go over that right now. So first method of a valid ad, you would have to put a valid URL. So say, for example, andrewscafe.com, right? Now that wouldn't be tracking anything, but it still would be redirecting users from point A, TripAdvisor, to point B, the advertiser site. Now, the second method, which is the most common I see, are customized URLs. So for example, angelscafe.com/UTM equals Tripadvisor. Any unique link or parameters that you know the traffic is coming from here. The third method, tracking scripts. So for example, like add dot, usually it's a long URL, and then there's a longer line afterwards, which is an impression URL, which would go here. Now, last but not least, some of you may already be using third-party ad platform tracking systems. And if that is the case, that is fine. If you want to use third-party tags, we allow you to implement them right up here. Now, don't get overwhelmed with all of this. There's a reason the earliest we could start is 2 business days out. And that is because we have an ad ops team checking everything you're uploading. So if your creative's not loading properly, you put in an invalid link, you messed up on any tags or tracking scripts, that is okay. They will notify you and I, will know about it, and we could fix the problem before you go live. So that is why we have that 2 business day turnaround. It is for your benefit. So we're going to check availability again, not trying to sound like a broken record. And we're going to go to the cart again. I'm going to reject suggestions. I'm going to add this to cart. So back to the cart. If you notice, we have 2 billing methods, credit card and invoice. Everyone defaults to credit card. Invoice is reserved for those who are booking regularly a few K a month within our platform, and that is set to net 30. Now, most of you are probably wondering, well, what happens when I book? Can I edit? Can I not? And the answer is yes and no, depending on what you're looking to edit. So for example, if you needed to upload more creatives or videos, you can. They could be paused at any time as well. Budget and date range, you are basically locked in for. Same for product. You can't switch video to a listing booster, right? Now, you can edit within the targeting option. So for example, I know before we said Vegas, right? If I added Houston in there, I could based on availability. If I wanted to add New York in addition to Florida, I could. What I can't do is change the targeting objective. So for example, if I want to change city destination to state or state region to country, I can't do that. Why? Because it changes the CPM. Think of this simple rule of thumb. If it changes the CPM, you can't make the change. However, if you ever encounter an issue where you pick the wrong target and objective, it's okay. We can cancel it on our side, and then you could rebook with your desired specifications. All right, so we're done with the whole ad creation process. We're going to go over to our newer offers tab. So feel free to check this anytime you want to book anything, especially if you have any specific campaigns and destinations in mind. Just come over here, see if your ad fits any of these objectives, and then you can book through here and get a discount on CPM. All right, let's go back to our tips and tricks portion. Okay. Now, not to sound too repetitive, I know I went through some of these fun facts during our demo today, but tip 1, audience targeting. If you are on the fence, don't use it the first time around. The platform will tell you the top 5 groups looking at your campaign. 2, if you have a Tripadvisor business listing, this is a great way to get acquainted with TAE. It's the lowest cost, it's the lowest risk, you get more impressions. You skip the whole creative process. Highly recommend to consider this. 3, I know we went into that, the color-coded destinations. It's good to target countries with the same visitor location tier. Even if they share a common language, you save money, greater efficiency. Consider this when booking. I know I use this feature multiple times today, but feel free to use the check availability feature to forecast our available audience to help you plan. Even if it's for a few months out, it's worth logging in and looking to see what's available. All right, the last one's going to be the best one. Ready? Leverage your account manager. That is me. My rule of thumb is if you have an issue, screenshot it, send it to me, and we'll be able to figure it out. But anytime you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. As you can tell, I love talking about TAE, so give me all your questions anytime. Okay. Last but not least, this is a promo code. Thank you for letting me go on and on about TAE. I hope if you are on the fence, this will give you that little push to book. And I can't wait to see some new bookings come in with this promo code. I want to thank you so much for joining me, for letting me talk about TAE. I hope to see some new bookings come through in the near future. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Here's my email. Thank you so much again for your time, and I can't wait to talk to you more about TAE. Take care.